Hi guys, welcome back to this amazing YouTube channel. I know it has been long I posted due to busy schedule. I've been very busy. I just moved into a new shop. This is my shop because I've been staying at home. I saw from my house in my room in my parlor. That's what I use as my fashion home, but I just moved into a shop. So the stress of moving in, painting, renovating everything entirely really took my time out of the space. But I'm back full time. I'm fully back, and I just want to start uploading videos immediately. So today I'll be cutting a gown, a straight cut gown with a front slit. I think I have a video on that before, but I just said I should do another video on this gown and with a straight that princess that bustier. That's what we'll be doing today. Straight gown and that has a front slit, princess that bustier, turtleneck, all of them wrapped up together. That's what we're going to be doing today in this video. So stay tuned and relax. If this is what you are interested in watching, don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to click on the notification bell to get notification whenever a new video is being posted. Okay, so let's go right to the video. So we'll start by folding our material into four. The first part, the back and the front part, because we're cutting them together. I'll just have to cut them together. My material is just folded like this, as you can see right here. So the next thing I'll be doing is to insert my measurement. But before that, I'll just minus 1.5 inch at the front part, because that 1.5 inch will serve the space for my slit and also where my zip will sit at the back part of the material. So they are both folded equally because the slit is going to sit at the front, and then the zip also needs inches for where the zip will be as well. So this is the line I just marked out. Then the next thing I'll be doing to make a gown, you place your tape the way I just placed, minusing 16 or the person's half length. If the person's half length is 18, 17, 16, 15, you place your tape, you start measuring, taking your measurement from 15, you minus 15 inches or 16 inches. So now I'll start inserting my vertical measurement, which is my waistline, my hip line, and the rest of them. So I'll start my measurement from that chalk where I marked my chalk. So this is the easiest way to take your measurements. If you don't have a calculator close to you, you just fold your tape into four, first into two, then you fold it again into another two. You get to divide the person's actual measurements. You place it on that measurement on the waist, and then with additional 2 inches sewing allowance, or 3 inches, depends on whatever you're working with. So here I'm inserting my hip line. I came down by 9 inches. Hip line determines the length, the height of the person. I mean, the height. If the person is tall, 9 inches. If the person is not tall, 8 inches is okay. So I just inserted my hip measurement as well, and I just have to draw my markings the way you just see me doing. It's as easy as that to make a straight gown. Very easy. You minus your half length, 16, 17, 18, whichever one you're working with. Then you insert your vertical measurements, which are your waist, your hip line, and you do your markings the way you just see me doing. Remember, you're not going to extend your measurement from that. Your measurement is not going to exceed this front 1.5 inch I marked for the zipper and for the slit. You're not going to extend, it's not going to pass that line. You start your measurement from the white chalk to get your measurement for your hip and waist, so that you get the accurate measurement you're working with. So this is me cutting off the excess where that is not needed. Yeah. And then I'll be cutting the other side as well. Remember, the material is folded into four, the front and the back part together. So I'm done cutting it. Look at the back part down and the front part is up, the one you're seeing directly. That's my back part. This is my front part for my front slit. So I'll just have to open up this front part as well. Just have to open it up. Then if you want to cut the lining of this cloth, you just go ahead and place your fabric on top of your lining. Make sure you fold your lining the way your fabric is being folded. Then you place your fabric on the lining and cut it out and sew your lining to your fabric, iron it and put it together. That is it. But let's just watch patiently and see how it's being done. So I'm done cutting the back part. This is the half length I minused earlier. I'll just have to cut it out now. And remember, I'm cutting a princess dart bustier. I have a video on that, and I have a video on straight dart bustier as well. That is not an easy job as a beginner. You just have to cut and cut and cut. After cutting, you have to go into the process of sewing it, because you have to learn cutting separately and then learn the cutting process as well. Learn the cutting process and the sewing process as well. So this is my half length, 16 or 17 inches thereabouts. So the next thing I'll be doing right now, I brought my book close so I'll see her measurements. Then I just inserted my shoulder measurement, which is divided into two, and then I had to extend my armhole measurement, which is 9, I think so. Like in most of my previous videos, if you have been following, I've told you how to get your armhole measurement. It depends on the person's bust. How big the person's bust is determines the wideness of her armhole. So this is me inserting her nipple to nipple measurement, which is 4.5, and as well nipple to nipple measurement varies. You can check it up on my measurement on how to take a body measurement is there. You can go and get it there, get a full knowledge on that. Nipple to nipple measurement varies, depends on the person's bust, the size, the height, and all of that. It varies. So now I'm inserting my bust point measurement, which is, if my bust point is 11, I make it 12 with additional 1 inch to all of them, so that after sewing, taking your excess, taking an inch to attach this one, taking it becomes the accurate measurement of that person's bust. The bust, the line won't be up and then your nipple will be down. Just have to sew something that will look nice. So this is me extending my line and my armhole line as well. So the next thing I'll be doing here is to measure my armhole measurement, where I'll start my curving for my dart, for my princess dart. I think I came down by 2 or 3 inches thereabout later. Then inside at that point right there, I went in by 1.5 inch. If you want, you can make it 2 inch, 1 inch, or 1.5. Then there at the front part, I came in by 1 inch. So just watch closely and see how I did my marking. I'm just going to maintain that same measurement I took, the 1.5 by this side and the 1 inch. I just have to maintain it just the way you see me doing. Just do exactly what I'm doing right here. You get the result of what you want. Do exactly what you see me doing right here. Then you just have to bring it down. You have to bring it down to this point. As you can see, there are two lines there, so I cleaned out the first ones. I won't be working with the first um line. I'll just clean it up and cut it out. Remember, this is a turtleneck. Yeah, this is a turtleneck. So just watch and see how it goes though. So if you notice, I cleaned out one line there. Then after taking this your measurement, after drafting or curving your bustier measurement, you have to insert your vertical measurement, which is your bust divided into 4. Remember, this is a dart. So you have to insert enough measurement so that after joining your darts together, you still get the person's actual measurement, especially when you're making princess darts. You need to take more allowance. If not, at the end of this, you will notice that you just made a baby, someone's else, you didn't work with your actual measurement you have at hand. So you just need to add a lot of allowance, all these things will be cutting out. You need to replace them back. This is my actual measurement, but I had to measure this place I'll be cutting out. I need to replace back my 3 inches. I need to replace back my 3 inches and add my additional working allowance inches I'm working with, which is 2 or 3 inches. I need to add it back, replace my 3 inches, and add my allowance all together so that at the end of this, I'll get the person's actual measurements. So this is it. I'll just go ahead and cut it out. This video is going to be pretty long, but just exercise patience and watch it. The purpose of this video is for you to learn with your Android phone. You don't need to register anywhere to know all these things. In case you don't have the funds to register as an apprentice or going to a fashion home, you can as well learn here. So I went ahead to minus 2 inches there. The width is 3 inches, and then the depth is 2 inches because it's a turtleneck. I didn't come down by 1.5 because most times that 1.5, after making it, it will choke the person. So I just have to come down by 2 inches. At times 2 inches can be something else. You just have to, but 2 inches is the normal size for it. Is the standard, if at all there's any standard formula to turtleneck. Yeah, so this is, you can either cut your back by placing your normal measurements, your vertical bust measurements, waist measurements, or you just place your front cuttings like this on your back part. But did you notice this opening at this midpoint? While taking your why sewing your back dart, the back of your clothes, the dress, while sewing the dart, make sure you take enough of that allowance you can see at this place. If not, the back will be too big for the dress. I don't know if you've witnessed that part where while sewing the back comes out, the excess at the back is much more than the front. This is the reason for it. So while taking your allowance at the back, you take enough, like the allowance you added, just take enough. So here I measured the same thing I did at the front is a turtleneck, so I came down by 2 inch at the back as well. So you just cut your lining the same way you cut your fabric. So these are things I'll be working with for my pad. This is my soft gum, and then this is my breast pad wording. I don't know how you call it, but this is rough and this is the soft one. So I'll be placing my soft first. My soft, not gum stay. I don't use gum stay for pad. So I'll be placing this one first on the material before putting my breast pad, what I'll be using. After ironing it, you cut off the excess. This is what I did at the front. Then I'll bring this one, the main part I'll be working with. I'll just cut it into these pieces and then place it, iron it. While ironing it, sprinkle water on it. If not, it won't be able to iron. Sprinkle water on it. Place the rough side on the fabric. The rough side on the fabric. That's where the gum is. The rough side is where the gum is. So you just place it on the fabric, just the way you see me doing. The rough side is being placed on the fabric, and you place enough, sprinkle your water on it, then iron it. The same thing applies at the both sides of the princess dart. If you want to wear your dress or make a dress without bra, you pat that place very well, put enough of that breast part to it so that at the end of the day the person will be able to wear it without bra. And as well, if you want to make a dress that the person might wear without bra, you won't give that person, you won't take the measurements won't be exactly the under bust measurement of the person. You need to come up by half inch so that the down part, the under bust will be firm, will be tight to hold the breast. So this is me sewing it just the way you see me doing. Just do what you're seeing in this video. This is how I was able to sew my princess dart. For beginners, that can be very easy, can be very difficult at first. It can be difficult for you to make, but just keep trying. Don't just stop halfway. Sewing, there's nothing that is not difficult in this life. It's all about determination and you will get there. So after sewing it, I'll just have to notch the um midpoint. You see where I notched it, and then give it a proper ironing. I just have to notch it at that part. Then bring your breast ball. This is your breast. This is what the breast ball looks like. Open it up, sprinkle water in it, and then iron it. Iron it flat. Make sure it's very, very flat. This is it. This is what it looks like after ironing. Then you iron the front as well. Give the front a nice press. So it's already giving the shape of what I want. I went ahead to add my lining. I've already sewn my lining to my main fabric. I've attached both the front, the back parts. I've attached the lining to them. So we are just at the finish or the end part of this work. So this is my so I'll be working on my front part of the down part, which is the skirt area. Remember, I minused 1.5 inches, 1.5 inches earlier while cutting it. I'll just have to take back that measurement now. Now I won't be taking up to 1.5 anymore, safe, because I've already taken some inches inside while attaching the lining. So I'll just have to take an inch at that point. I'll just have to measure it, mark it to where I want my slit to start. That is the opening of my, this is where I want it to start. So my stitching will stop there. That's the beginning of my slit. My stitching will stop at that point. I'll just have to sew on that place I marked right now. So this is it. I'm done sewing it. So I'll then sew the back as well. So this is the back. I've sewn the back, then I left some opening at the beginning of the skirts for my zip, where my zip will sit, and then I sewed it down all through because the slit is not going to be at the back this time, it's going to be at the back. So over to what I said about my back, I'll be taking my dart at the back right now. So I measured 9 inch and 6.5 inch at the back, because if I should minus my zip allowance, I'll get my 4.5 inches there. So I just have to minus 6.5 there. And then I'll just take it to my machine and sew. So at this point, I forgot I was to take enough allowance at this point. So I later took the excess I added for the dart. Later on, when I was about adding the skirt, I noticed that the back was too big. So I had to take all the allowance I added for the back, for the dart at the back. So this is my back part of the down part, the skirt part. I'll have to place my upper part to it and sew it. So I'll take it to my machine and sew it. So as you can see how big the dart space is right now, because I had to take my space I added for the dart. So it's now big, it's not small how it was before. So I'll just have to sew it down, which I have done. This is it, the back part. Then I'll also attach the front part to it, the half length to the down part of the front part of the gown, which is what I have done. So next thing I'll be doing is to sew my shoulder measurements, my shoulder part I mean. Just have to sew it there and attach my sleeves. So I'm done sewing, attaching my sleeve and my turtleneck. So now I'll be inserting my measurements. Normally we divided it into two why cutting. So now we divided into four why cutting. So now we'll be dividing our measurements into two. Use your chalk to mark it, take it to your machine and sew it straight down. So this is how it came out, looking very nice, looking so beautiful. Hope you enjoyed this video. If yes, give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe and share my videos with your friends. Someone might be interested in this video, like this might be what that person wants for their work. So please try to share, comment, like, ask questions if there is any question that needs to be asked, and I'll be right here to respond. Bye.